When 29-year-old Emily Chen's phone pinged with a Tinder match notification on a Friday evening in March 2023, she had no idea she had just 48 hours left to live. What started as witty banter and shared interest would end in a blood-soaked apartment in Palo Alto, California, and expose a predator who'd been using dating apps as a hunting ground for over 2 years. But investigators would soon discover something far more disturbing. Emily Chen was everything Silicon Valley celebrated. A Stanford graduate with a degree in computer science, she'd risen through the ranks at a prominent AI startup to become their youngest director of engineering. Her colleagues described her as brilliant, kind, and cautious. She'd been single for 6 months after ending a long-term relationship and had only recently started exploring dating apps. According to friends, Emily was careful about online dating. She always met matches in public places first, she shared her location with friends, and she video chatted before meeting in person. When she matched with Marcus Bradford on March 10, 2023, she followed her usual protocol. Their first date was coffee at a busy Starbucks. The second date was dinner at a popular restaurant. Both times, she texted friends that everything felt safe and normal. On March 17, after 2 weeks of constant messaging and 2 successful dates, Emily agreed to let Marcus come to her apartment for dinner. She told her roommate Sarah that she felt comfortable with him, that he worked in venture capital, drove a Tesla, and seemed genuinely interested in her work. At 7:15 p.m., doorbell camera footage shows Marcus Bradford arriving with flowers and a bottle of wine. At 7:16 p.m., Emily opened the door with a smile. It would be the last time anyone saw her alive. What happened inside the apartment over the next 3 hours remains partially unknown, but the evidence painted a horrific picture. Emily's roommate Sarah returned home around 10:30 p.m. to find the apartment eerily quiet. Emily's bedroom door was closed, which was unusual during the day. When Sarah knocked and got no response, she initially assumed Emily and Marcus had gone out. But something felt wrong. Sarah opened the door. What she found would haunt her forever. Emily Chen lay on her bedroom floor in a pool of blood. She'd been stabbed 17 times. Her phone was smashed. Her laptop was missing. And Marcus Bradford had vanished without a trace. Sarah's 911 call at 10:34 p.m. brought police racing to the scene. But they arrived to find a crime scene that had been carefully staged. The killer had tried to make it look like a robbery gone wrong, but he'd made critical mistakes. This is where the investigation took a turn that would revolutionize how police approach dating app murders. Detective Maria Rodriguez of the Palo Alto Police Department immediately requested Emily's phone records and dating app data. What they discovered was chilling. Marcus Bradford's profile had been created just 6 weeks before matching with Emily. But the photos he used were stolen from a real Marcus Bradford who lived in Boston and had no idea his identity had been compromised. The real breakthrough came from Emily's doorbell camera and building security footage. Investigators tracked Marcus's Tesla through traffic cameras across Palo Alto. But here's where it gets interesting, the car wasn't registered to anyone named Marcus Bradford. The license plate led them to a 34-year-old software engineer named Ryan Kowalski who lived just 12 miles away in Mountain View. When detectives pulled Ryan Kowalski's background, red flags appeared everywhere. He'd been fired from 3 tech companies for inappropriate behavior toward female colleagues. He had a restraining order filed against him by an ex-girlfriend. And most damning, his search history showed he'd been researching how to permanently delete Tinder accounts, how to clean crime scenes, and the sentencing guidelines for manslaughter versus first-degree murder. He'd searched that last one the day before meeting Emily. But Ryan Kowalski had already fled. The manhunt was on. For 72 hours, Ryan Kowalski was in the wind. He'd withdrawn cash, ditched his phone, and was driving east toward Nevada. But he made one catastrophic error. On March 20th, 3 days after the murder, he used Emily's stolen credit card at a gas station in Reno. The transaction triggered an immediate alert to police. Within minutes, Nevada state troopers had his location. Within an hour, he was surrounded at a cheap motel off Interstate 80. In his motel room, police found Emily's laptop, her jewelry, and the knife used in the attack, poorly cleaned and wrapped in a towel. Ryan Kolsky claimed it was a robbery gone wrong, that he'd panicked when Emily recognized him from a previous tech conference and threatened to report him for the fake profile. But prosecutors would prove this was premeditated murder. He'd created the fake profile specifically to target successful women in tech. The investigation revealed Ryan Kolsky had matched with 47 different women across 5 dating platforms using stolen photos and fake identities. Emily wasn't his first victim to invite him to her home. She was his third. The other 2 women had survived because roommates or neighbors interrupted. Both had reported feeling uncomfortable but neither had physical evidence. Emily's double camera and digital footprint gave prosecutors everything they needed. Ryan Kolsky's trial began in September 2023. The prosecution presented overwhelming digital evidence, the fake profiles, the stolen credit card transactions, his disturbing search history, and the double footage. His defense claimed diminished capacity and argued for manslaughter. The jury deliberated for just 4 hours. On October 12, 2023, Ryan Kolsky was found guilty of first-degree murder, identity theft, fraud, and attempted murder of 2 other women. The judge called it one of the most calculated and predatory crimes she'd ever seen. In January 2024, Ryan Kolsky was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole, plus 75 additional years for the other charges. Emily's family gave victim impact statements that left the courtroom in tears. Her mother said Emily had been their light, their pride, and their future. Now she was gone because a predator had exploited the trust that dating apps are built on. Emily Chen's murder forced the dating app industry to make significant changes. Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge all implemented enhanced verification systems including mandatory photo verification, AI-powered behavior monitoring, and partnerships with background check services. Several states passed Emily's law, requiring dating platforms to warn users about the risks of meeting strangers and provide safety resources. Emily's family started the Emily Chen Foundation, dedicated to online dating safety education and supporting victims of dating violence. They've partnered with tech companies and law enforcement to develop better protocols for investigating digital crimes. Emily's roommate Sarah became an advocate for double cameras and location sharing, speaking at universities about the tools that helped catch Emily's killer. The Emily Chen case remains one of the most studied examples of how digital evidence can solve murders in the modern age. Every text message, every swipe, every double notification left a trail that led investigators directly to her killer. It's a reminder that technology is both the weapon and the solution in 21st century crime. And it's a tragic lesson that even the most careful among us can fall victim to someone who's determined to do harm. Emily Chen was 29 years old. She deserved to find love, not death, in a swipe right.